Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Chaw. This is a book that came out in May this year. It's a horror fantasy from Tora Nightfire. A dark, atmospheric, and brooding novella about bodily autonomy and captivity. The Salt Grows Heavy also manages to be a bit of a love story. What's it about? You may think you know how the fairy tale goes. A mermaid comes to shore and weds the prince. But what the fable forgets is that mermaids have teeth. And now her daughters have devoured the kingdom and burned it to ashes. On the run, the mermaid is joined by a mysterious plague doctor with a darkness of their own. Deep in the eerie, snow-crusted forest, the pair stumble upon a village of ageless children who thirst for blood, and the three saints who control them. The mermaid and her doctor must embrace the cruelest parts of their true nature if they hope to survive. Before this, I just want to say that this video is sponsored by a book that's coming out today. It's called The Roads We Take. I had a copy. I don't know where it went. But it's got a really cool cover. It's actually on the Goodreads, best covers for 2023, I believe. Anyway, it's a historical fiction, so it really has nothing to do with The Salt Grows Heavy, but I was asked to sponsor post it this day, and I didn't have any other historical fictions to talk about. It is a Canadian historical fiction about one of Canada's first female doctors, a fictionalized woman, not a real person, and about her struggles in an abusive marriage and trying to homestead while also trying to be a doctor in a culture that doesn't believe women should be doctors. It's got a very heavy love story component to it too, but it's rich in historical detail and it's really, really fun. And yeah, anyway, this is a sponsored post, but I really did enjoy it, and yeah, you should check it out if you like historical fiction. So, back to The Salt Grows Heavy. Apparently, the last few months have been adaptation stories for me. I had Beowulf and Hamlet, The Minotaur, Aladdin. Now I have this, so which is fun. Adaptation stories are really interesting. I really like them. I also really enjoyed this book. It's a very fast read, but it's also one of those novellas that doesn't feel too short. We jump into the story right after the mermaid has freed herself from captivity from the prince, and we shortly learn that this novella does not hold back from the darker side of fairy tales. This book features cannibalism for magical purposes, and in this way, it's a comment on bodily autonomy and control. The mermaid has just escaped physical captivity, and then she and the plague doctor are thrust into another sort of captivity, where they meet children who are being manipulated by three sorcerers or necromancers or something like that. Necro-sorcerers, I don't know. Being both survivors of different trauma, they then try to help the children with interesting results. Normally stuff with kids in peril gets me all upset, but in this case, though there were disturbing moments, it didn't really affect me somehow on that level. I don't know why. I will say, though, children do die in this story, so if that's a trigger for you, you should maybe not read this. The story carries a very subtle love story that I both wish was protracted, but then again, it's also kind of perfect in how it's an undercurrent more than the main tide. Mermaid pun. We're left to infer how these two knew each other before because they have an easy relationship that is suggestive of deeper understanding, but we didn't need to see that relationship develop to still feel it. This was expertly done. In fact, I shipped them from the very beginning, and the ending is very satisfying. One thing I was torn about in this book, though, was the language. It's very atmospheric, as I said, and has an elegiac, poetry-like prose that's very artsy. We have lines like, a snap of laughter, like a spine crisply bisected, which I loved. But then we have other lines like, and like dogs scenting danger, the boys oil away from me. What does that mean? Oil away? Turning nouns into verbs can work in poetry sometimes, but it made my eyes roll a bit here. I was like, what is this? What does that also have to do with dogs scenting danger? I hate similes that don't make any sense. Unless oil was a typo? I don't know. Surprisingly, I did notice a couple of typos, which in a novella is a little bit sloppy. Sorry, Tora Nightfire. Anyway, overall, I was quite enthralled with this short but dark tale. I'm probably going to buy it in physical copy because I really liked it that much. And it definitely makes me want to read another book by Chaw. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you've read this book. I know it was kind of popular when it first came out. And I got it for sale on ebook. It's funny because I was reading it. I wanted to read it for the Trick-or-Treat-a-thon because it's one of the host picks or something like that, or host favorites. And so I was like, oh, perfect. And then it popped up on my Instagram that they had it on sale for like $2.99 or something. And I was like, well, that was fortuitous. So yeah, definitely gonna buy a physical copy, I think, because it's so cool. Also, the cover's really neat. Like, it's kind of fun and artsy. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and bye.